Imagine a family SUV that looks far more expensive than it actually is, packs serious road presence, and is ready to challenge some of the biggest names in the segment. The 2026 all-new Jetour X90 is here to make a statement, and this could be one of the most interesting SUVs you'll see this year. Hi everyone, welcome back to Motor Zone YouTube channel. Today, we're taking a closer look at the 2026 all-new Jetour X90, an SUV that combines bold styling, a spacious cabin, modern technology, and strong everyday performance into one impressive package. Jetour has been building a reputation for offering feature-rich vehicles with an attractive price proposition, and the X90 continues that philosophy with a design and interior that aim to deliver a much more premium experience. From the moment you see the X90, it's obvious that Jetour wanted this SUV to look confident. The front end immediately grabs your attention with a wide grille that gives the vehicle a strong and substantial appearance. Rather than looking overly complicated, the design uses clean lines and a broad stance to make the SUV appear wider and more planted on the road. The lighting signature is another major part of the exterior personality. The LED headlights give the front end a modern appearance, while the sharp design creates a distinctive look during both daytime and nighttime driving. Depending on the market and trim, you can expect modern lighting technology and daytime running lights that add to the vehicle's premium character. Move closer to the front bumper and you'll notice how Jetour has carefully integrated the lower air intakes and styling elements. The bumper design adds visual width while helping the X90 maintain a sporty character. The hood itself has strong lines that flow toward the windshield, giving the SUV a muscular profile without making it look unnecessarily aggressive. From the side, the X90's proportions become even more impressive. This is clearly designed as a family-oriented SUV, but it doesn't sacrifice style in the process. The long body, relatively high beltline, and sculpted side panels create a balanced silhouette. The roofline provides plenty of interior space while maintaining a modern SUV profile. The wheel design also plays an important role. Depending on the version, the X90 can feature large alloy wheels that fill the wheel arches nicely. The wheels aren't just there for functionality, they help give the SUV a more expensive and sophisticated appearance. Combined with the raised ride height, they contribute to the X90's confident road presence. At the rear, the design remains modern and substantial. The taillights create a recognizable lighting signature, while the rear bumper gives the SUV a wide stance. The tailgate is relatively large, which is exactly what you want in a practical family vehicle because it makes loading luggage, shopping bags, and larger items easier. The overall exterior design is one of the X90's biggest strengths. It doesn't try to look like a tiny crossover pretending to be an SUV. Instead, it delivers the visual presence of a proper family SUV, with a wide body, bold front end, large wheels, and modern lighting. But the real surprise comes when you step inside, open the door, and the X90 immediately shifts from rugged SUV character to a much more refined and technology-focused environment. The dashboard is designed around the driver and front passenger, with a layout that attempts to combine practicality with a premium atmosphere. One of the first things you notice is the large digital display area. The infotainment system gives the cabin a modern centerpiece, while the digital instrumentation keeps important driving information directly in front of the driver. This technology-heavy approach makes the X90 feel like a vehicle designed for the current generation rather than a carryover from an older era. The infotainment system provides access to essential functions such as navigation, media, vehicle settings, and smartphone-related features, depending on the market specification. The large screen also reduces the need for a dashboard filled with physical buttons, creating a cleaner and more modern appearance. And then there's the space. The X90 is designed with family practicality in mind, offering generous passenger room and useful storage throughout the cabin. Front seat occupants get plenty of room to stretch out, while the rear seats provide a comfortable environment for passengers on longer journeys. The SUV's seating configuration also gives it an advantage for families. Depending on the specific market and configuration, the X90 can be offered with 3-row seating, making it capable of carrying more passengers than a conventional 5-seat crossover. That extra flexibility is important because an SUV like this isn't only about looking good. It needs to work in everyday life. You can use it for school runs during the week, highway trips on the weekend, family vacations, and everything in between. Fold the rear seats when you need additional cargo capacity, and the cabin becomes considerably more practical. Comfort is another area where Jetour has clearly focused its attention. The seats are designed to provide support for both short city drives and longer journeys, while the elevated driving position gives the driver a commanding view of the road. The cabin also aims to create a premium atmosphere through materials, trim finishes, soft touch surfaces, and carefully integrated technology. Exact materials and features can vary depending on trim level and market, but the overall goal is clear: make the X90 feel like more than just an affordable family SUV. You'll also find useful modern features such as automatic climate control, keyless entry, push-button start, USB connectivity, multiple storage areas, and available advanced driver assistance technologies depending on specification. For passengers, the rear area is particularly important. There's enough room to make longer journeys comfortable, and the large windows help keep the cabin feeling open. Families will also appreciate the practical nature of the interior, including cup holders, door storage, charging points, and flexible seating. The driving position itself feels natural. The steering wheel, instrument display, and center screen are positioned so that the driver can access important information without taking too much attention away from the road. And when the sun goes down, the interior technology becomes even more noticeable. Modern ambient lighting and illuminated controls can give the cabin a sophisticated nighttime atmosphere, especially on higher-spec versions. But all of this technology would mean very little if the X90 couldn't deliver where it matters most, behind the wheel. Under the hood, the Jetour X90 has been associated with turbocharged petrol powertrains, with specifications varying by market and model version. A commonly offered configuration uses a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine producing around 197 horsepower and approximately 290 Nm of torque. That's a healthy amount of power for a family SUV of this size. The turbocharged engine is designed to deliver strong low and mid-range torque, which is exactly what you want when pulling away from traffic lights, merging onto highways, or carrying several passengers. Press the accelerator, and the X90 responds with considerably more energy than you might expect from a practical family SUV. The turbocharger helps the engine maintain strong acceleration, without requiring extremely high engine speeds. Depending on the market and transmission configuration, the X90 can be paired with a dual-clutch automatic transmission, giving the SUV quick and relatively smooth gear changes. In normal city driving, the transmission is designed to keep the engine operating efficiently while still having enough response when you need to accelerate. On the highway, the additional gears help the engine settle into a comfortable cruising rhythm. And that brings us to efficiency. The X90 isn't designed to be a hardcore performance SUV. Its mission is to balance power, comfort, practicality, and reasonable fuel consumption. The turbocharged engine provides enough performance for everyday driving, while the transmission helps make longer journeys more economical. Of course, real-world fuel economy depends heavily on traffic, driving style, passengers, road conditions, and the exact engine configuration. But for buyers looking for a family SUV with useful performance rather than excessive fuel consumption, the X90 aims for a sensible middle ground. The suspension setup is also important. Jetour has designed the X90 around comfort, meaning the SUV is intended to absorb everyday road imperfections while keeping passengers comfortable. Over rough city streets, speed bumps, and uneven surfaces, the suspension works to keep the cabin controlled. On highways, the longer body and SUV stance help create a stable feeling at cruising speeds. The steering is relatively easy to operate, making the X90 suitable for urban environments. That's important because despite its size, a family SUV needs to remain manageable in parking lots, narrow streets, and crowded city traffic. On open roads, however, the X90 shows a more confident side. The turbocharged powertrain gives you enough punch for overtaking, while the elevated seating position provides a good view of surrounding traffic. It may not be built to attack corners like a sports car, but that isn't really the point. The X90 is about giving drivers enough performance to feel confident while keeping the ride comfortable for everyone inside. Safety and driver assistance are also major considerations in this class. Depending on the market and trim, the X90 can offer technologies such as adaptive cruise control, lane-related assistance, blind spot monitoring, parking assistance, cameras, and automatic emergency braking. These systems can make everyday driving easier, especially during long highway journeys and busy urban commutes. But, as always, they should be viewed as assistance technologies rather than replacements for an attentive driver. And when you put everything together, the 2026 Jetour X90 becomes a surprisingly complete SUV. You get bold exterior styling that gives it genuine road presence. You get a spacious interior designed around families. You get modern digital technology and a premium-looking dashboard. You get flexible seating and practical cargo space. And under the hood, you get a turbocharged engine that provides enough power to keep the SUV feeling lively. Perhaps the biggest appeal of the X90 is that it doesn't force buyers to choose between practicality and style. It looks modern without being overly flashy. It has a spacious cabin without feeling like a boring people mover. And it delivers useful performance without turning into an unnecessarily aggressive SUV. The 2026 Jetour X90 is essentially trying to give buyers more vehicle for their money, and that makes it particularly interesting in a market where consumers are demanding more technology, more space, and more premium features. So, is the X90 worth watching? Absolutely. If you're looking for a family SUV with bold styling, a comfortable interior, modern technology, flexible seating, and a capable turbocharged powertrain, the Jetour X90 deserves a place on your shortlist. It may not carry the same badge recognition as some established Japanese, Korean, or European competitors, but that could actually be part of its appeal. Jetour is offering an alternative for buyers who want something different, and the X90 makes a strong case for itself. The final question will come down to pricing, exact specifications, local equipment, reliability, after-sales support, and how it compares with competitors in your market. Those factors can vary significantly from one country to another. But purely as a package, the 2026 all-new Jetour X90 is a vehicle that deserves attention. It combines the visual impact of a modern SUV with the practicality of a family-focused cabin and the performance of a turbocharged engine. And if Jetour continues improving refinement, technology, and value, the X90 could become one of the more compelling choices in its segment. So, what do you think about the 2026 Jetour X90? Would you choose this SUV over a more established competitor, or would you stick with the traditional brands? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this detailed look at the 2026 all-new Jetour X90, make sure to like this video, subscribe to MotorZone, and turn on the notification bell, because we've got plenty more new cars, SUVs, and future automotive releases coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.